after being struck by a vehicle in the line of duty on Tuesday, December 23rd. Since the night of the crash, detectives from our Major Crash Investigations Unit have worked tirelessly on this case. A short time ago, MPD detectives, along with members of the Capital Area Regional Fugitive Task Force, arrested the driver responsible for striking Officer Bennett. 47-year-old Gerard Coates of Northwest D.C. was charged with second-degree murder while armed for the death of Officer Terry Bennett. I can provide some limited details on the investigation. At approximately 9:49 p.m. on Tuesday, December 23rd, Officer Bennett was dispatched to report of a crash on eastbound I-695 between the South Capitol Street exit and the 6th Street Southeast exit. A vehicle had run out of gas and was struck by another vehicle, causing minor damage. After exchanging information, the second vehicle left the scene. Officer Bennett was on the scene setting up flares and staying with that vehicle that ran out of gas. He was outside of his cruiser as the suspect vehicle approached at a high rate of speed. The investigation determined that the suspect was driving erratically and attempting to change lanes through slow traffic when he struck Officer Bennett. The suspect's vehicle came to rest after hitting the rear of Officer Bennett's marked police car. The suspect remained on the scene and was located unconscious immediately outside of his vehicle. DC Fire and EMS responded and they administered naloxone. The suspect regained consciousness and was transported to a local hospital for treatment. He was released pending further investigation. Yesterday, in consultation with their partners at the United States Attorney's Office, our detectives completed a D.C. Superior Court arrest warrant charging Coates with second-degree murder while armed a vehicle. I want to thank the members of the Major Crash Investigations Unit for their professionalism throughout this investigation. These cases are extremely difficult, and they're even more difficult when the victim is a member of the police department. While we're grateful the suspect will now face accountability, we recognize there's nothing we can do to bring back Officer Bennett. Our thoughts remain with Officer Bennett's family. He's survived by his wife, a 3-year-old son, his parents, family, and friends. I ask that everyone continue to keep his loved ones and the members of the Metropolitan Police Department in their thoughts in the days ahead. With that, I'll take some questions. Yes, ma'am.
Emma Huber with the Washington Post. Thank you, Chief. You mentioned that naloxone was administered at the scene. Have drugs been found in Coates' system, and could there be additional charges for driving under the influence?
There could be additional charges. The full toxicology report has not come back yet. Sir?
Chief, was he drunk? Like, was he administered a breathalyzer on the scene? And why would you administer this? For what particular reason? He clearly was ejected from his car, it seems.
Sure. So the information we don't have that he was actually ejected from the car. What we have, it appears initially, is he attempted to open the vehicle door, and then he kind of fell out of the car unconscious. What was the first part of your question?
Was a blood alcohol test administered on the scene?
So there was, obviously, when he went to the hospital, because he had injuries, he went to the hospital for treatment. They obtained samples from him there, which had to go for toxicology reports. We'll check for alcohol and any other sort of drugs that are in his system. The full report is still pending.
But you can usually tell pretty quickly, right? If someone's blowing or somehow, or is this only when it's done by blood that it takes a while?
So there's a couple different ways. Usually in situations with traffic crashes, especially one of this nature, blood or urine is what's used. So you'll go to the hospital, draw will be taken, and those will be submitted for tests. You're talking about as like kind of a normal person at a traffic stop, and they may do some standardized field sobriety test on the side of the road, or they may blow into it. After that, they would go blow into an intoximeter. That was not done in this case. He was at the hospital for treatment, so that's what necessitates the requirement of the toxicology reports to find out the exact things. So to the earlier question, there could be additional charges based on that.
Chief, could you explain the charge a little bit more? Second-degree murder while armed. You're talking armed the vehicle, right? Not a gun.
Exactly. The vehicle is the weapon.
What's the weapon?
How tough has...
And there could be additional charges based
weapon?
on that.
Chief, could you explain the charge a little bit more?
What's the weapon, Chief?
Second-degree murder while armed. You're talking armed the vehicle, right? Not a gun.
Exactly. The vehicle is the weapon.
And how tough has this been? This is new in, your administration. How tough the morale overall throughout the department?
Exactly. The vehicle is the weapon.
And how tough has this been? This is new in, your administration. How tough while armed? You're talking armed the vehicle, right? Not a gun.
Exactly. The vehicle is the weapon.
And how tough has...
We're going to slow the video down here, y'all. She was using her vehicle as a weapon, like the captain just said.
No! recorded this video showing the moment that an ICE agent opened fire, shooting into an SUV and killing the driver.
Because she used her vehicle as a weapon.
Approach the maroon SUV.
We see that.
That's when the woman
Used her
starts
vehicle
backing
for a
up as one
weapon.
agent keeps his hand on the driver's side door. Just behind him, another agent stands near the front of the vehicle. He's the one who shoots the woman, firing once through the windshield.
Pow, pow, pow.
4 times.
And she crashes out in real life.
Driver's side
She crashes
window.
out in real
But
life.
another video
shows the angle that she used the
This
vehicle
is the
as
video
a
that
weapon.
President Trump referred to on social media when he defended the agent's actions. From this view,
the vehicle as a weapon, as you can
toward the front of the SUV, and it appears the vehicle does
crashes
hit
out in real life.
Seconds later, he fires 3 shots. And the SUV crashes into 2 parked cars. Actions.
Because she used her vehicle as a weapon.
You can clearly see toward the front of the SUV, and it appears that the vehicle does hit him.
It does hit him.
Facts of this particular case.
She used the vehicle as a weapon.
Let's look at the facts.
Both
in this footage taken by a bystander just before the shooting,
you can see her vehicle
maroon SUV partially blocking the street. Goods partner seen here outside the car, and ICE officer Jonathan Ross are filming each other.
They are filming each other.
You can see Good in the driver's seat, waving cars by while Ross begins walking around her SUV. 2 more federal officers arrive in this gray truck and approach Good's vehicle while simultaneously speaking to her.
Open the door, ma'am.
So, law enforcement officers
Ma'am, it's
with
dangerous. We got
lights
2
and
lanes of traffic.
sirens and
Get out
in
of the
full
car.
uniform, ordering a motorist who's blocking traffic to get out of their vehicle.
Get out of the fucking car. No. She's using the vehicle as a weapon. Pow. Pew.
The whole
Pew.
encounter, from the moment
And
an
she crashes
officer
out in
told
real
Good to get
life.
out of her car to the
Idiot.
third shot lasted just 7 seconds.
7.
So now quickly let's just break down what we just saw.
She used her vehicle
With
as
the
a
video
weapon
slowed down, you can see one
against an
officer grabs the
She's
door
not
handle
complying.
as Good begins
She's being a
backing
tyrant.
up the car.
She's being an
Officer
asshole.
Ross can now be seen filming with his left hand at the front of the car.
Vehicle. It was
You can
justified.
see
You
the
can't
front
use your
wheel
wet
spin
vehicle
forward
to run
and
over
Ross
an Asian.
draws his gun with his right hand. So now I want to point you to the front tire and where it's at. The officers in front of the car
Vehicle.
and the tire is pointing at the officer. So now, if you hit the accelerator, you're gonna run right into the officer.
Facts.
And as you can see, the person in the car is hitting the accelerator. That's why the tires are spinning.
And it's icy
As
outside
you
because it
can
just
see, the
snowed.
officer has
And that's very
his
dangerous
gun out.
because you have no control
The
of
tires
the
are still
vehicle.
pointed
And ice.
directly at the
Officer.
and the car is moving
Right in the ice. Look.
forward.
Sliding in the
At the
ice.
last second, the tires turn away from the
'Cause she's
officer.
on ice.
But the officer is struck by the vehicle, which you cannot see from this angle.
But we
Now,
will show it
here's
from
the
another
second
angle.
from the front of the vehicle. So you
She's
can
clearly using her
see
vehicle
the
as a
officer is
weapon.
actually hit
That's what
by
Cat said.
the car.
Look, boom. Fact.
Well, when the SUV pulls
Forward. She's using her vehicle as a weapon. She hitting. Look.
they make contact with the agent
Officer.
in
And
the
she crashes
street.
out in real life. by hitting two vehicles. A real life crash out dummy. You big dummy.
You dummy. You big dummy. You big dummy. You big dummy. You big cold-blooded dummy.
Could you explain the charge a little bit more? Second-degree murder while armed. You're talking armed the vehicle, right? Not a gun.
Exactly. The vehicle is the weapon.
And how tough has this been? This is just new in, your administration. How tough the morale overall? While armed, you're talking armed the vehicle, right? Not a gun.
Exactly. The vehicle is the weapon.
And how tough has this been? This is just new in, your administration. How tough the morale overall throughout the department for this tragic incident?
I mean, anytime that a member of the police department is critically injured, obviously there's a toll on the entire department, his co-workers, the people that he works with, his family. But in this case, it's even more so. Officer Bennett was in the hospital for a very long period of time, and his friends and family and co-workers were at the hospital checking on him, praying for him, thinking of him. So also had the ability to have an even more closer relationship with his family members. So it definitely has a huge impact. I think that if you look at the escort that occurred yesterday from the hospital, you can really see just the amount of people that came out. Some people I'm sure didn't even know Officer Bennett, but just for the sacrifice that he and his family have given to the city.
Now where's the outpour over this officer protecting and serving, putting his life on the line, get struck by a vehicle, unalived? Where's the protesting in the street for this? And not only that, it's a brother that was struck and killed unalived by a vehicle. Where the outrage at? This was a couple days ago, ladies and gentlemen. Why they ain't talking about this in D.C.?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you're able to answer this, but commonly is naloxone used in cases of alcohol or just in cases of opioids when it comes to your training for your officers?
Yeah, so in general, naloxone is used for opioids. It's not used for alcohol.
Was that a determination made by the officers on the field or the first responders?
Yeah, so on the scene, DC Fire actually administered the naloxone because he was found conscious. Obviously, depending on what you see there, some of the other things that we do know is there was marijuana inside the car. Obviously, it's not illegal to possess small amounts of marijuana, but that could play a role into how you recently smoked it. Those are things that we don't know. Those are things that the toxicology will provide us. So as the investigation continues, we'll find out more information on that.
Does he have a criminal record?
I do believe he has a criminal record. I don't have the specific details of that, though.
Has he said anything? Has he cooperated in any way and made any statements acknowledging his behavior on the road?
So obviously the night that the crash happened, he was interviewed. He has been interviewed since then. The specific details of the conversation, obviously, I don't want to put out right now as the investigation does continue out there. But as he's presented, the arrest warrant will become public and get some more information about that as well.
Is he employed by the district?
He is. Yes, he is.
Parks and Rec, is that what we understand?
Yeah, DPR. That's correct.
And is he also physically disabled in some way? Do we know?
He does. He does use handbrakes inside of his vehicle. He was in a wheelchair. I don't know what his specific condition is overall. Besides that,
We'll say just one more.
So that.
Long
Last
lines of
month.
law enforcement officers snaking through parts of the nation's capital,
Yeah, in December.
all to honor D.C. native and D.C. police officer Terry Bennett. For 8 years, he protected and served and was assigned to the 1st District.
he's one of those people when you talk to the officers, anything you needed, he was there. He was there with a smile.
Bennett, a graduate of Ballou Senior High School, enjoyed giving back to his alma mater and D.C.'s youth through way of football, coaching, and mentoring young athletes.
He is just a kind and friendly person. He's a good-hearted person.
Now, why ain't they all out there gathered for this brother that lost his life in the line of duty, protecting and serving? But they out there protesting for an idiot that used her car, her vehicle, as a weapon, trying to strike an officer. Wow.
He is just a kind and friendly person. He's a good-hearted person who grew up here in the city.
Terry, as has been discussed, was a valued member of MPD.
On the day before Christmas Eve, Bennett responded to a call about a driver needing help on the side of the road on Interstate 695. Police say while helping the driver, Bennett was hit by a car. Other officers immediately started helping Bennett before he was taken to the hospital, and on Wednesday, he died from his injuries. A day later, hundreds of officers lined up to pay their respects and to highlight Bennett's dedication to the public.
when he got struck, he was just out there doing his job, putting out flares for a traffic crash. So it's immensely a huge loss to the department.
And we know that Bennett was 32 years old. He leaves behind both a wife and a young son, and we know that funeral arrangements are being made for Bennett. Hunt, back to you.
All right.
Gun salute, Bennett. 21 gun salute, Ken. Brother lost his life. He was struck by a vehicle. Protecting and serving, putting out flares on the highway. And someone used their vehicle as a weapon and struck the brother. The brother lost his life a few days later, came to his injury. Salute. 21 gun salute, brother.
Arm the vehicle, right? Not a gun.
Exactly. The vehicle is the weapon.
And how tough has this been? This is new in, your administration. How tough? Well, armed. You're talking arm the vehicle, right? Not a gun.
Exactly. The vehicle is the weapon.